Please welcome Lily to the stage. Oh, nice to see you.
Oh my gosh, that sinking feeling in my stomach when the Canadian border official found something in my bag that I wasn't supposed to have. And I was not traveling across the border in a car or an airplane, which is a very solitary experience. I was traveling across the border in a bus. And when this happens to you in a bus, they unload the entire busload of people into the customs area, and then they load everyone else back into the bus to sit and wait and stare at the bus and wonder what it is that you were caught with. I have a long and tumultuous relationship with the Canadian border. My dad is Canadian, and I grew up in the U.S., and my grandparents live in Canada, and so I would cross the border about 4 times a year my entire life. And there was this one time when I was a child, and my dad is Canadian, and I'm an American, and he looks very Jewish, and I look much more like my mother, and they leaned down to me, and they said, "Who is this man?" And even as a child, I thought it would be really funny to say, "I don't know." But I didn't, thank goodness. And instead I said what became a very favorite story from my father to recount to others. And I said, "That's my daddy," with my whole body. And everyone thought that was very funny. And I went to college in Canada, so again, more times across the border, and there was this one time, and I have this habit of being too honest, which sort of led to this first issue, where they have on the form, are you carrying any fruits or vegetables across the border? And I had a hummus sandwich with me, and in my mind I thought, chickpeas are a legume. Is a legume a vegetable? So I thought I would just be really direct with him and just lay it out there. I have a hummus sandwich. And he said, "What is that?" And I said, "It's awesome. It's this chickpea spread. It's this like vegetarian." I'm having this discussion about nutrition with this border agent. And he said, "Why would you eat that?" So I got really mad. Again, my defiance with the board. And so I said, "Are you going to let me take it or not?" And so I got to keep my sandwich, and so that was good. But this time things were going to be different, and I was not going to get by with what it is that I was carrying. And so as I saw the bus sort of float out of view, they pull me into this other room where I can sit and think about what I've done and think about sort of how my life is going to be altered by this experience. And the guy that pulled me out of line had no humor about any of the situation, and he's very serious. He's kind of staring at me, waiting for his boss to arrive. And his boss arrives and looks to him and says, and I quote, "Unless these chocolate eggs are full of fucking cocaine, I want you to never bother me about a chocolate egg ever again." Because again, I was honest, and he said, "Do you have any food?" And I said, "All kinds of fun Canadian candy, like Coffee Crisp and Kinder Eggs," which, if you know a Kinder Egg, are delightful. Canadian children and European children survive these chocolate eggs with fun toys in them just fine. But American children faced with them would obviously choke on them and die. And so they are a contraband item, which I should have known and should not have disclosed. But I did, and so I'm sitting there thinking, like, are they really gonna not let me travel? What's gonna happen? And the boss pulls me up, does not make eye contact, is totally embarrassed by the situation, and says, "You can keep the chocolate, I'm taking the toy," and hands them to me. Where I sort of like bash it with my hand and take the chocolate shell into my hands, and he takes the toy and he's like, "You can go now." Where I go to sit on the bus and slowly munch this like pile of chocolate much too large to eat and think, whatever was in that Kinder Egg toy would have given me a lot of joy. But I don't think anything would give me more joy than hearing that border official's boss say to him what he said to him. Thank you.